Hey, I'd like to talk today just a little bit about life with IBS. And IBS is Irritable Bowel Syndrome. I was diagnosed with IBS about 6 years ago, and I had my gallbladder removed. Let's step back just a little bit. I had my gallbladder removed when I was 28. I am 40 now, and so that was 12 years ago. And 6 or 7 years into having my gallbladder removed, I noticed that I was not having the standard bowel movements. I was having diarrhea constantly, and all these foods irritated my system. And it was just kind of this ongoing battle to kind of figure out what food was irritating my system, what I couldn't eat, and what I couldn't tolerate versus what I could. And it just got to be too much. And every doctor that I saw couldn't find anything wrong. And so finally, I was referred to a GI, and they diagnosed me with IBS and kind of gave me a little bit of insight as to what that is. Basically, trying to figure out, what works for you and what doesn't, but really didn't give me any treatment at all whatsoever. Just kind of do what you need to do and what works for you. And so I eventually went gluten-free, cut that out of my diet. I eventually stopped eating red meat because I don't process red meat correctly. I can eat fish, I can eat chicken. Spicy foods do not settle well with my stomach at all, and actually may end me up in an ER situation. Yeah, it really sucks. Life with IBS really sucks. And if it isn't the embarrassing symptoms that you're having to deal with, then it's the doctors that can't find anything wrong with you. And so it's kind of this like juggle of, well, do I really want to tell my doctor, that, yeah, I had diarrhea on Monday and then I was blocked up on Tuesday, but then my stomach felt like it was going to blow up on Wednesday, all these like erratic symptoms, and constantly not feeling well and having your stomach just feel bloated and have pain in, different areas of your stomach, and not feeling like when you go to a doctor, you're a total hypochondriac. That's what life with IBS is like. It's true though. And so I've been dealing with, actually in this last month, I've been dealing with kind of a really bad bout of symptoms, and issues. And so I'm going to be going back to a GI to see if there's anything else, going on for me, outside of the IBS. And so it is a very frustrating and can be a very debilitating thing. I feel like sometimes here I'm the one that's had, the multiple discs removed in my neck and a bar in my neck, and I've got screws in my feet and all these other things happening, and yet I still do everything that I absolutely can, and I've got all these projects going on. The one thing that keeps me in bed, that knocks me off my feet and keeps me from doing anything, is IBS. Today I should be out shopping and getting a cell phone with my foster son, and I can't make it to the store. Like, I don't know if I'm going to need a bathroom within 3 minutes or 2 seconds. And I don't know if when I go to the restroom, I'm going to feel like passing out when I pass a bowel or have a bowel movement. And so that's really tough to have that kind of shackle you to your home, shackle you to a bathroom within 2 minutes of a bathroom that I need to feel comfortable in. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to go on this roller coaster and just start bitching about everything. But life with IBS can be very debilitating, and so you're not the only one if you're out there like struggling to get up in the morning and having really bad stomach pain and feeling like you're completely bloated and like nothing can help it. I will say this, the one thing that I found very helpful is to slowly kind of like either take things out of my diet, so that way I'm eliminating one thing at a time, or slowly introduce things into my diet so I'm not, I can actually like focus on that one thing and say, okay, that's the thing that's causing me issues. I have gone gluten-free again. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. I'm kind of like losing track of what I'm saying. But I did go gluten-free. Gluten seemed to cause a lot of bloating issues for me, and so I cut that out of my diet, and I realized I have a lot less bloating. I don't feel bloated absolutely all the time. I don't feel like I've got diarrhea 5 or 6 times out of the day. So that was nice that I was able to eliminate that. Dairy, I can tolerate dairy, but certain weeks I can't tolerate dairy, and so I keep lactate with me, just in case if it's like that week that I can't tolerate dairy. Yeah, spicy food, I can't tolerate spicy food. Fried food, I can't tolerate fried food. It is a process of eliminating and getting stuff out of your diet one at a time, or introducing stuff back into your diet one at a time, and starting, if you start with, I would say exiting it out of your diet is a little bit easier than introducing things into your diet, but it depends upon how well you keep track of what it is that is kind of like you're ingesting and what is bothering you, what is not. Sodas, I will say sodas actually cause me quite a bit of issue. I try to not drink soda, although I absolutely love Dr. Pepper. The thing that's really frustrating to me is because I can't introduce all these foods into my diet, is the weight loss or weight instability of IBS, right? And so I can't, no matter what I do, I cannot seem to gain weight because I can't introduce these other things into my diet. And that is the most frustrating thing to me right now, anyway. But in general, life with IBS sucks. And you're in my thoughts and prayers if you struggle with the same thing. It's debilitating. You know, and there's no shame in having the off sick day and just calling in and saying, you know what, my stomach is bothering me too much and I can't come in. I teach, and I teach a class where there are substitutes that can't be found for that classroom because it's that kind of a class. I love my students. However, it is hard for other teachers to understand how my classroom functions, and so it's hard for me to get a sub. And so, you know, in the morning sometimes I don't feel right until about 9-10 o'clock in the morning, and I feel just bloated and lethargic and like I'm gonna throw up every morning until 9, and then I start feeling okay after that. There are some mornings where I just can't put my socks and shoes on and can't bend over. So those mornings I don't make it in. Anyway, I hope that this helps someone. I know that I got a little bit of my frustration out in regards to being frustrated with doctors, especially as of right now. And them not being able to kind of figure out or pin things down, because each doctor only wants to be responsible for the one thing that they're responsible for finding, and not the larger picture. And that's the thing I think that frustrates me the most. So anyway, we might get to see some stone videos later this week, but certainly probably not today.